Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. If you're new to the show, this podcast is all about helping you grow your English, step by step, with simple, practical, and positive ideas that really work in real life. Today's topic is one I really love because it changes the way we think about learning English. We're going to talk about this idea. Fluency is a habit, not a skill. Now, what does that mean? Most people think fluency is a skill, something you can study, memorize, and one day finally have. But the truth is, fluency isn't something you get after a few months of practice. It's something you build little by little through your daily habits. Just like brushing your teeth or exercising, fluency grows when you do small things regularly. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. That's why I say, fluency is not a skill, it's a habit. In this episode, we'll explore what fluency really means, why thinking of it as a habit is so powerful, and how you can build small, simple habits that make your English flow more naturally every single day. So, if you sometimes feel stuck, shy, or unsure about your English, don't worry. By the end of this episode, you'll have a fresh new way to see fluency and a plan you can start using right away. All right, are you ready? Let's get started and discover why fluency is not a skill. It's a habit. Before we talk about fluency as a habit, let's first understand what fluency really means. Many English learners think fluency means speaking fast, using big words, or sounding like a native speaker. But that's not true at all. Fluency doesn't mean you have to speak fast. Fluency means you can communicate your ideas clearly, smoothly, and confidently, even if you make small mistakes. It's about flow, not perfection. Think about a river. A river doesn't stop after every few steps. It flows continuously. That's what fluent English sounds like. It keeps moving. It's natural, and it's comfortable for both you and the person listening. Some learners worry too much about grammar or pronunciation. They stop after every word to think, is this correct? Or, did I say that right? But when you focus too much on being perfect, you lose your flow. And that's what stops fluency. Fluency also doesn't come from memorizing long lists of vocabulary. It comes from using the words you already know, again and again, until they become easy and natural for you. So remember this. Fluency isn't about how many words you know. It's about how comfortably you can use the words you already have. When you understand this, English starts to feel lighter, easier, and more natural. Because fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being yourself in English. So now that we understand what fluency really means, let's talk about this big idea. Why fluency is not a skill. When people think of skills, they usually think of something they can learn once and then keep forever. For example, typing on a computer, playing guitar, or riding a bike. These are skills. Once you learn them, you don't need to relearn them every day. But fluency doesn't work like that. Fluency is not something you get and then keep. Fluency is something you grow, and you have to keep growing it every day. If you stop using English for a long time, what happens? You start to forget words. You feel slower. You lose your confidence. That's because fluency isn't a fixed skill. It's something that depends on your daily practice and daily contact with the language. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine two people, Emma and Tom. Emma studies English for 3 months, then stops for 6 months. Tom studies English for just 15 minutes every day, but he never stops. Who do you think will be more fluent after a year? Of course, Tom, because he made English a habit, not just a skill to learn and forget. When we treat fluency as a skill, we often put pressure on ourselves. We think, I must be perfect, or I must speak like a native speaker. And when we make a mistake, we feel like we failed. But when we see fluency as a habit, mistakes become normal. We understand that each time we practice, we're growing. So here's the key message. Fluency is not something you study once. It's something you live with every day. It grows with your small actions, like listening, reading, speaking, and thinking in English a little bit every single day. When you shift your mindset from fluency as a skill to fluency as a habit, everything changes. English becomes less about studying and more about living it. Now, let's talk about the power of habits and how they can completely change the way you learn English. We all have habits. Some are small, like checking our phones in the morning. Some are big, like exercising or reading before bed. The interesting thing is, we don't have to think much about our habits. They just happen automatically, right? That's the power of habits. They make things easy and natural. When it comes to English, habits are everything. Because the more you repeat something, the more natural it becomes. If you listen to English every morning, even for 10 minutes, your brain gets used to the sound of the language. If you speak a few sentences every day, your mouth and tongue learn to move smoothly. If you read something in English every night, your mind starts to think in English naturally. That's what builds fluency, repetition and routine, not just long study sessions. Think about it like this. You don't become healthy by going to the gym for 10 hours one day. You become healthy by going every day for 30 minutes. Fluency works the same way. You don't become fluent by studying for 5 hours once a week. You become fluent by practicing a little bit every single day. When English becomes part of your daily life, like drinking coffee, brushing your teeth, or checking your messages, you stop thinking of it as study time. It becomes a natural part of who you are. That's when real fluency starts to grow. So, don't worry about big goals or long study hours. Focus on small, simple, daily habits. Those small actions build momentum, and that momentum becomes fluency. Remember this: habits create progress, and progress creates confidence. And when you feel confident, you'll want to keep going. That's how powerful habits are in language learning. All right, now that we understand the power of habits, let's talk about how to actually build them. Because knowing something is one thing, but doing it every day is what really makes the difference. So here's a simple, step-by-step way to build your fluency habits and make English a natural part of your life. Step 1. Start small. The biggest mistake many learners make is trying to do too much at once. They say, I'll study for 2 hours every day, and after 1 week, they're too tired to continue. Instead, start small. Maybe just 10 or 15 minutes a day. It could be listening to a short podcast, reading a short article, or speaking to yourself in English for a few minutes. Small steps are easier to repeat, and what you repeat becomes a habit. Remember, consistency is more important than intensity. It's better to do 10 minutes every day than 2 hours once a week. Step 2. Connect English with your daily routine. Think about the things you already do every day, like drinking coffee, commuting, cooking, or exercising. Now, find a way to connect English to those moments. For example, listen to an English podcast while you cook. Read one page of an English book before bed. Watch a short English video while you eat breakfast. Talk to yourself in English while getting ready in the morning. When English becomes part of your daily life, it stops feeling like study time. It becomes natural, and that's the secret to building fluency habits. Step 3. Make it easy and fun. If learning feels boring or difficult, your brain will try to avoid it. So make your English habits fun and easy. You can watch shows or YouTube videos that you truly enjoy. Learn English through your hobbies, cooking, music, travel, or sports. Use English apps or games that make you smile. The more fun you have, the longer you'll keep going. And the longer you keep going, the stronger your fluency habit becomes. Step 4. Stay consistent, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when you feel lazy, busy, or unmotivated. And that's okay. But remember, habits grow with consistency, not motivation. Even on busy days, do something small. Maybe just read one paragraph or listen for 5 minutes. What matters is that you don't break the chain. Each time you show up, even in a small way, you're training your brain to stay connected with English. That's how fluency becomes part of who you are. Not something you study, but something you live. Step 5. Track your progress and celebrate. Keep a small notebook or use your phone to write what you did in English each day. It could be something as simple as, I listened to a podcast, or I learned 3 new words. Seeing your progress keeps you motivated. And don't forget to celebrate small wins. They keep your energy high. So, to build the habit of fluency, start small. Connect English to your daily life. Make it fun. Stay consistent. And celebrate your progress. When you do these things, English stops feeling like a subject and starts feeling like a part of you. Now, before we move forward, let's talk about some common mistakes many English learners make when they try to become fluent. Because sometimes we're doing things that actually slow down our progress, even when we're working hard. Let's look at a few of them together. Mistake 1. Focusing only on grammar. Many learners spend most of their time studying grammar rules, but not enough time using English in real life. Grammar is important, yes, but fluency grows from practice, not from memorizing rules. You don't need to speak perfectly. You just need to speak regularly. Mistake 2. Waiting until you feel ready. Some learners wait for the perfect time, when they feel confident, when their grammar is better, or when their vocabulary is bigger. But that perfect time never really comes. Fluency doesn't wait for confidence. Confidence comes from practice. So start speaking now, even if it feels scary or slow. Mistake 3. Studying too much, using too little. You can read many books and take many lessons. But if you don't use English, if you don't listen, speak, and think in English, your fluency won't grow. Fluency comes from using the language, not just studying it. Mistake 4. Being afraid of mistakes. This one is huge. Many learners feel nervous about making mistakes. But here's the truth. Mistakes are proof that you're learning. Every mistake is a small step forward. So instead of saying, I failed, say, I tried, and I learned something new. When you avoid these mistakes and focus on daily practice, fluency starts to feel easier, smoother, and more natural. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Now, let's talk about something very important, your mindset. Because fluency isn't just about what you say, it's also about how you think. To become fluent, you need to start thinking like a fluent speaker. So, what does that mean? 1. Fluent speakers. Focus on communication, not perfection. Fluent speakers don't worry about every little mistake. They focus on sharing their message, on being understood. If they forget a word, they use another one. If they make a grammar mistake, they keep going. That's what makes their English sound natural. So when you speak, don't stop to correct yourself every few seconds. Keep talking. Keep the flow. Your goal is communication, not perfection. 2. Fluent speakers. Think in English. They don't translate every word from their first language. They think directly in English, even with simple words. You can start training your brain to do the same. Try describing your day, your feelings, or your plans in English, just to yourself. The more you think in English, the faster your brain gets used to it. 3. Fluent speakers. Believe in progress. They know fluency doesn't happen in one day. They understand that every small practice moment counts, so they keep showing up, even when they make mistakes or feel tired. That's how they grow, through patience and consistency. So remember, to become fluent, you must first think like a fluent person. Don't say, I can't. Say, I'm improving. Don't say, I'm not good enough. Say, I'm getting better every day. Because your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions create your fluency. Now, let's talk about some fun and creative ways to build your fluency habits. Because learning English doesn't always have to feel serious or boring. It can actually be fun. Here are a few ideas you can try starting today. 1. Talk to yourself in English. It might sound funny, but it really works. Talk to yourself about what you're doing, like, I'm making tea, or I'm going for a walk. This helps your brain think and speak in English naturally, without fear or pressure. 2. Sing English songs. Music is a great way to practice pronunciation and rhythm. Choose your favorite English songs, sing along, and try to understand the lyrics. You'll be surprised how much vocabulary and confidence you gain. 3. Watch shows or movies you love, with purpose. Watch something you already enjoy, but in English. Use subtitles if needed. Repeat short scenes. Copy how the actors speak, and notice how they express feelings. It's both fun and powerful for fluency. 4. Mix English with your hobbies. Do you like cooking? Watch English cooking videos. Love travel? Follow travel vlogs in English. Interested in fashion or sports? Read English posts about them. When you connect English to what you already love, it becomes part of your life, not just a lesson. The secret is simple. Make English enjoyable and personal. When you love what you do, it's easy to keep the habit alive. And that's how fluency grows naturally. All right, friends, before we wrap up, I want to have a little real talk with you. Learning English can feel hard sometimes. You might feel shy, nervous, or even frustrated when you make mistakes. And that's completely normal. Every English learner goes through it. I promise you, you are not alone. Here's the truth. Fluency doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from showing up every single day, even if it's just a little. Even small steps, like listening to a podcast, writing a sentence, or speaking for 5 minutes, add up over time. So, don't compare yourself to others. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start where you are, use what you know, and keep going. Remember this: fluency is a habit, not a skill. And every habit starts with one small action. You have the power to grow your English. One day, one habit, one step at a time. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. And most importantly, enjoy the journey. All right, friends, let's quickly review what we learned today. First, we learned that fluency is not about being perfect. It's about communicating clearly and confidently. Second, we discovered that fluency is a habit, not a skill. It grows when you practice English every day, even in small ways. Third, we talked about common mistakes to avoid, like focusing only on grammar, waiting to feel ready, and being afraid of mistakes. And finally, we explored practical ways to build fluency habits, like connecting English to your daily life, making practice fun, thinking in English, and staying consistent. Remember, small daily actions add up to big results. If you start building these habits today, you'll see your English improve naturally, and fluency will become part of your life. And that's it for today's episode, friends. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey and for taking the time to focus on your English fluency. Remember, fluency is a habit, not a skill. It grows little by little every day through your daily practice and consistent actions. Keep building your English habits, make learning fun, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every step counts. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the English Learning Podcast so you never miss a lesson, and share it with your friends who want to improve their English too. I'm Sarah, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, your fluency is growing every day.